Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Dave Savage. Welcome to the Mortgage Coach Tuesday interview. Today, I have Rick Scherer as my guest. What's up, Rick?
What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm excited about spending an hour with you right now. And then I'm also fired up to see you on ScriptPalooza tomorrow. So you looking forward to that one?
Looking forward to it, man. That's a rock star group over there, and looking to learn a lot from it. So thanks for providing value, bud. Every step of the way.
And, hey, it's a great community. If you haven't already signed up for ScriptPalooza, it's tomorrow at 9 o'clock from 9 to 11. It will be interactive in Zoom, and then we'll also be broadcasting it on Facebook Live. So check it out and also share this with all your mortgage friends. This one will be booked. By the way, we almost have 2,000 people signed up. I do think we will book our Zoom account at 1,000. So if you can't get in, go to Facebook Live, check it out. So, Rick, before I start the interview and go through what we're going to do, I want to make sure I announce the winner of the referral magnet contest. We had a lot of great submissions. The rules were pretty simple. One, it needed to be a Facebook video. And two, it needed to be a right hook, as Gary Vee would say. Robert Stover calls it a hook. And the hook needed to be the total cost analysis. So those were really the only two criteria for it. I do want to remind everybody, Robert Stover and Bill Hillstad both did a lot of training. It should have some type of a headline, attention-grabbing headline. Robert did a lot of coaching on what is a chain. It's a logical, emotional way to connect the star with the hook. And then the hook is just a call to action. This is what you want them to do to step over the line and take action. So I want to acknowledge all of the entries. Jason, Ryan, appreciate your entry. I think you were the first one to submit. Bliss Sawyer, you were definitely one of the first few, and you crushed it. Great job, Bliss. Ron Yargle, thank you very much for submitting, my man. Connor Cullup, great job on your submission from Alaska. Tim Lamb, great job, buddy. Joe, great job. Appreciate you submitting. Jenny Lewis Stoner, who was one of the previous winners last year. Jenny, thank you for submitting. Don Getling and team, great job. Thanks for presenting. Dan Keller, as always, appreciate you participating and leading. Rich Hayden, great job. And then it's time for, Chong Lee, great job. Appreciate you submitting. So we had a lot of great submissions. Rick, do you have any feedback on any of them?
I looked at a bunch of them, and it's funny. We ran the gamut between production value and not so much production value, but at the same time, even the ones without the production value had such great content and such a great hook that you didn't have to be a big editor, video editor, to win. So I was impressed, and I'm pretty disappointed in myself that I didn't step up and do one. But I'm in the next one, and I'm in it to win it. So
well, remember, winning is not the Mortgage Coach contest. Winning is creating a video that generates leads using Mortgage Coach as the hook. So I also want to acknowledge Robert Ring. Robert, you always step up. Great job. Before I announce the winners, I want to be really clear. Like when Bill, myself, and Robert Stover and I picked the winner, it wasn't who did the best video editing, although we acknowledge that and we mentioned, hey, that was really well done, super pro. But it could have been like Robert Ring submitted this at the last minute. It was him standing at a wall, and he could have won. He didn't, by the way, Robert, and I know you will be a winner of this, but we picked two. We picked Bliss. We loved her energy, her personality, her humor. I thought it was super pro, super compelling. We do believe that will generate leads. Remember, that's what we're doing. We're going to put $100 in Facebook advertising. Bill Hillstad is going to make recommendations on the headline, the video, maybe make some editing suggestions, and then we're going to promote this. So we thought this was one of the two that would generate the most leads. We also picked Dan Keller. We just had to pick Dan. It was just so personal and professional. He did a great job in terms of his structure. It had a star. compelling headline. It had a chain, it had a hook. We thought the star could have been better, but those were our two picks for the winners. So congratulations to you guys.
Rock stars.
Chong, yeah, rock stars. And then, hey, Chong, you got the most likes on Facebook so far in our group, and we thought that this was very compelling, and we think there's an angle to promote this, so we love that. Rich, you were definitely honorable mention, and we thought you did a great job, and we have some ideas to make it even better. Don, great job. Jenny, as always, you're amazing. Joe, great job. Tim Lamb, we liked your angle, how you started it off with $17,000. So we thought it was a good star. You did a great job. Connor, we thought that this one might be the winner if you would have brought in, the military angle as a star. You talked for a minute or two or a minute before you really got into the meat. But we definitely think there is a winner in this video. Ron, great job. And obviously Bliss and Jason, great job. So my goal with this contest is real simple: to help you guys create videos that you can market, advertise on Facebook that generate leads. So Rick, it's not too late for you, brother. You can still jump on this contest.
I'm in.
All right, man. Hey, anything else you want to say or any questions you want to ask before we get into the interview at hand?
Just to mention on the submissions, I'll tell you, more than not, everybody in there really showed authenticity. I think, when, on both Dan and Bliss, it really came through in that. So, just keep hitting that, being authentic in all of your messaging. Certainly helping families with total cost analysis, but some people I think were just nervous and didn't let it come through. But that's what stood out to me when I was going through them. That just the authenticity in the message was on point. So
yeah, no doubt. And by the way, Dan and Bliss have created the most videos. So the more you do something, the better you get at it, as we all know. And so one more thing I wanted to show on my screen as I'm starting this interview is one of the things that inspired, one, this interview, and two, some of the questions is I put a poll question. It's in our Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind group. And I had asked the community that, hey, as we plan for our May training program and the themes, what's most important to you? And I posed the question, is it most important to you that you add monthly value to your current realtor partners? Is it most important to you how to get a realtor meeting, how to follow up after a meeting, or how to have a winning meeting? And you guys voted, by far the number one topic was how to continue to add value to current partners. So two things. One, if you didn't vote. I want to see how many people care about this. And then I have another question. In comments, if you have specific scripts that you want, specific strategies, put those in comments so that we can really nail this for you guys. So Rick, let's before you start digging into this and answering questions here, for anybody who doesn't know your story, know your production, know your team, if you could just bring us up to speed, what market you're in, how are you doing this year, and then we'll get into this topic.
Yeah, great. So I'm in the Boston market. I've got a team of 4 people that work on the Scherer team, and I think we're up around 25 million for the year so far in originations, or maybe that's closings. I don't know. We did the stats for tomorrow's, so I'm just kind of going off of that. But yeah, just hope always try to be around $85 to $100 million and a little plus, and really building our business through real estate agent partners and financial planners, CPAs, estate planners.
Yeah, well, you do an amazing job. I've interviewed Rick a number of times. One of my most recent favorites when you talked about how you do realtor masterminds. Yep. So check out a link below. I'm going to put a link to how Rick does realtor masterminds because I think it's incredible. Well, let's get into this concept of what should a loan officer do? Hey, I've got these 20 realtors that all trust me, like me, and want to do business with me. What do I do on a monthly basis? And by the way, before you answer that, how many realtors do you manage that we actively prefer your business?
We've got 100 that essentially, onesie, twosies, maybe one or two a year. But my core is about 28 agents that I can honestly say I'm either one or one of two that we get most of our production from.
Did you say 28? Did you say 28?
28.
Got it. By the way, I would love to know, how many core agents do you have? So think about, you got how many agents will send you a referral that you close on an annual basis, and then how many agents really, contribute to 80% of your business? Put that number in chat. I just want to see what the community thinks on that. So what kind of things are you doing on a monthly basis? And then I want to make sure we answer the question of how to conduct an interview so that you can even deliver value.
Yeah, so that's the most important part. And I think this call sparked from one of our past calls just around how are we trying to bulletproof our relationships with our real estate partners, right? Moving it from a casual to a committed relationship. And, one of the things that I always tell and when I'm coaching other loan officers is, if you feel you're going down that road of I've got the best rates, I've got the best programs, and I've got the best process, in your brain, tell yourself to stop immediately, because you sound like 99.9% of the other loan officers out there trying to talk to that same agent, and their eyes will glaze over and you will lose them. Really, it's so important right now, especially when you've got all this technology and price compression, all of that type of thing, to really dig in and become a valued partner side by side, belly to belly with your real estate agents. And so, Dave, we talked about this. We've just launched a new marketing company called Aspire Marketing Systems that's about to go national in a couple of months. And within that the company, we've got about 15 systems that we work with other loan officers to do that, to really be a valued partner when, again, it's moving your relationship from you're as good as your last deal, which we've all heard before, to bulletproofing your relationship, where if you screw up on their personal deal, they'll still give you a hug and a kiss and send you the next deal the next day. So that's really what our goal here is to provide that much value so that that you don't have to worry about anybody coming along and wooing your agent with, I've got the best rates, programs, and price. So let's
go high level on what are some of those value points, and then we'll get into, hey, how do you conduct the interview so that when you present them, they connect?
Yeah, I think the most important part is uncovering context, right? When you're with a real estate agent, is really figuring out and asking a ton of questions. And you've had webinars about it, questions to ask, and so high level, it's be with that person, and man, if you can transition your relationship with a real estate agent from you're the chaser to actually being more of a coaching or a person that's going to be side by side and cares about their business and show them how to grow it, the pendulum shift is a big one. So one of the things that we're going to talk about today is one of the programs that I do is a partnership questionnaire that really dives deep into a real estate agent's business, so that gives that loan officer so much information and so much to work with to help that agent fix their business and then start to grow it.
Got it. So let's do this. Let's go through the questionnaire when you meet with a realtor. I want to remind folks we've given you a lot of information on this. So if you're watching it and you haven't watched Jeremy Forcier's 5 questions,
right?
He did it. I mean, great 5 questions to ask. When I interviewed Jennifer Duplessis a couple days ago, I'm going to put a link down below to that. We spent a lot of time talking about how she delivers value. But Rick, why don't we go through your interview? Because I do think, to your point, if you're not delivering the right strategy based off that realtor's needs right now, that you're mutually aligned around, you're not going to be able to be effective, and you're not going to be able to accomplish it. So let's go through your interview process.
Yeah, and I think what we all tend to do is come right out of the gate with how we can help them or what we can do for them. how we can make their lives better, but we don't go in with the we don't know really what they need and what's going to make their lives better, and how we can help them the most effective way. So I think you've got it in the handouts under the business plan partnership questionnaire. So, I'll kind of go through it. I always uncover a little bit of, figuring out, if I don't know this already, but how many families they've helped over the last 12 months. And the reason why I asked that question is this doesn't necessarily have to be a business planning beginning of the year, but last 12 months, how many families have you helped? How are you going to grow your business in 2018, and where are you going to focus your marketing efforts? So just 3 really easy questions to open up the conversation and get them thinking about how they're going to grow their business. And you can talk a little bit around, if they don't know the answers to those questions, how you can help them get to where they're clear on it. And the important thing about this process is to really make sure that you do so much less talking and way, way, way more listening. Asking the questions and sitting back and letting them go and just taking notes. I use this questionnaire really as a 2-part. I really sit down with them for about an hour to uncover context, and then I come back with maybe a coffee meeting a week or 2 later with some ideas. So essentially, that's how it's set up. So what I do is I tell the agent on a scale of 1 to 10, rate the following 14 areas in your business. Okay, and so Dave, I don't know if you can call up those 14 on your desktop or not, or if people can follow along.
What I'm going to do, 2 things, folks, is you can download it's called Business Plan. And then when I'm not talking here, I will pull it up and do my best to get it on the screen for you, Rick.
Okay, cool. So, I first start off with how is your database? How is it organized? And again, you're going to see people go, it's on my cell phone, it's on some Excel spreadsheet, or they're like, hey, we've got one of the best CRMs and I'm a master at it. Any answer to this is great, but what I do is I make a note. I have them, they'll usually go on about what they're using, and I make a note right next to that dash. And then I always come back to them and say, okay, great, now rate it. Where are you in that? Contacting their database. How often do they reach out? What are they reaching out with? Really uncover how they're doing that. And again, at the end of the day, make sure they're rating it. How are they marketing to their database? So, are they sending out the magnets, or are they sending out postcards, or, are they on just a random marketing recipes? Really understand how they're marketing to their database. I'll tell you, majority of them aren't doing it well. But again, all this information is great context. Geographic farming. So where are they sending their just listed, just solds? Where are they farming where they want to be targeting their business? Open house conversions. How are they getting buyers from open houses? What are they doing in order to do that? Ask those questions. Take a ton of notes. Online lead generation. So are they using a Zillow or Realtor.com? Are they doing social media, Facebook? Again, dig in on that and figure out what they're up to now. Let's see, niche listing. So yeah, do they specialize in a certain niche? Luxury homes, starter homes. Where do they want to be known in the marketplace for fitting into their niche? Find out what that is. Again, that's some great information to understand. And niches. So like I just met with a real estate agent doing this exercise a couple months ago and found out that she knew sign language. Both parents were deaf. And I asked her, well, what are you doing with that? And it was 0. She didn't have it on her business card. She wasn't marketing to it. And the deaf community is sometimes underserved with quality people that certainly can speak their language. And that's the same with other foreign languages. So, find out what their niches are in their business. Generating listing appointments, and how good are they at that? Converting them once they have them. generating buyer appointments, how they're doing that, where are they getting their buyers from, how are they getting them to sit down with them, do a face-to-face meeting, create that rapport with them. Business systems and checklists. I meet with a lot of agents that are really starting to grow their business. Maybe they have an assistant or maybe they have a buyer's agent, but they just don't have anything in place around how to scale it or how to be really efficient, and even how to lead a team. Just because you do a lot of business doesn't mean you're a great manager. So understanding kind of where they're at in their business and if they have great checklists or systems. How do they feel about their staff? Are they competent? Do they need to upgrade some of their people in their on their teams? Man, this is such great information because they're not going to sit down with you over coffee and start spilling all of this stuff out. But to really know that, man, it would mean the world to them if they had a transaction coordinator that was just the absolute best and checked all the boxes. Again, knowing that and going out and helping them with that, which we'll get to in a minute, is just such huge information. Keeping current. I put this in here because I subscribe to Keeping Current Matters. And of course, that is such great content to give to real estate agents if they don't have access to it. So how often do you keep current with the current statistics and appreciation and rates and all that type of thing? So, again, that's some great information to figure out how I can provide value to the real estate agent on a monthly basis. And what's their mindset for success? This is a real good one, and it also allows the loan officers out there that want to take more of a coaching approach to their business, which is what I do, and I coach other loan officers to do. This really opens up a ton of great information to figure out where's their head at. Are they 100% committed to growing and hitting all their goals and commitments? Or are they just doing it to do it, as if it's just a paycheck? It's a really great question to end this with, because you're going to understand if someone's in it and there's a lot of things on this list that you can help them absolutely transform their business, go at it. If they score a 2, well, it's probably not, there's probably not much here that you can help someone with because they're not committed. But really dive in and dig into this mindset for success. And I think you're going to uncover some really great information on that.
So Rick, let's do something here, because I think every loan officer wants to get in a quality conversation with an agent and have this conversation. Give us some scripting on how do you position it? Like, what do you say to the realtor so that they're going to slow down and let you go through this process? Give us a feel for the script. And then after you say that, I'm going to actually go back and what expectations do you set for the meeting so that they've got this kind of white space to have this kind of conversation? Yeah,
great information. So, we've talked in the past. I do mastermind events where they're just spilling their guts for 3.5 hours on all the business practices, what they're using. So I've got a little bit more context when it comes to that. But I always sit down with the agent and say, hey, I don't work with every agent, and I don't want to work with every agent. I want to work with a selected few that I'm really going to spend time with in order to really affect your business in a positive way. That, my goal is to help you side by side hit everything that's important to you on your commitments and your goals. And I've created this checklist to really find where I might be able to help you in some of that, in that way. I sit down with a lot of real estate agents that are high producing, high level, and I might be able to do a couple things here for you that might move the needle in your business and fill that gap that you currently have in your business. So I want to spend an hour here just learning a little bit more about your business and really moving my world to figure out how I can come back to you in a week or two and potentially show you a couple concepts or a couple things that would really make a big difference in your life. So I wanted to spend an hour here just to have you be open and honest and transparent. And listen, I do this a lot with a lot of real estate agents, and there are more 2s than 10s. So just know that I'm, the more information you can give me, the more I can help you, and really be a partner in this.
I love that.
Yeah.
So great scripting. By the way, if you have a question for Rick, you can post that in the GoToWebinar control panel, or you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you at some point in the conversation. So I want everybody to just kind of dissect what Rick did. He let people know that I'm here to find out what's most important to you, to see if it's a fit. And I don't work with a lot, I work with a few. So let's figure out if it's a fit and if I can help you. And then he unarmed them that, hey, a lot of people are at 2s, so they're going to be more candid, helped them open up. Now it sounds like you're setting a 1-hour expectation. And let's face it, for all the new loan officers that are on this call, or for the people that are not like you, where they've done tons of realtor masterminds, I mean, you really are a coach to not only other loan officers, but to other realtors. So not everybody is where you're at in the space. So yeah. Could you break down some scripting and some thoughts for either the new loan officer, first year in the business, or someone that, let's just say they've been doing it for a while, but they're not at your level as a coach and a mentor. Could you give us some guidance and also maybe adjust the expectations there?
Absolutely. And so here's what I recommend is, again, setting the table where, hey, I want to do an hour sit down with you and kind of go through a couple of things. And honestly, we're not going to go really over concepts at that meeting. I want to take back the information that you gave me, and I want to sit with it for about a week and a half. And I promise that when I come back to you, I'm going to have a couple of nuggets, a couple of concepts that I feel will actually move the needle. So what you've just done there is you're not going there to listen to all of them and then solve the world's problems at that same time. So don't go into that meeting thinking that you need all the answers. Okay. And let them know up front that they're not going to get any answers from you, maybe at that point in time. And that you're going to save that for, a week and a half, where you're just going to either stop by their office for a half hour, go grab coffee, and you're going to prepare some things for them that may help them. Now, a lot of people are going to, well, what do I say? Okay, after I walk out of that meeting, now what? Well, now you start to dig in and do some research. Well, if you've got someone that has a database that is a 2, because again, it's on their cell phone or it's on an Excel spreadsheet, what you want to do is find out who are the top real estate agents using for CRMs. Is it Top of Mind? Is it, Buffini? Is it Ferry? Is it Contactually, which is just a zero, very low cost, if no cost, starter way to start to gather your database. And so you might come back to them with, hey, I found a couple of options for a CRM. Some of my top agents are really using this, and this is on steroids, and this is an investment here. Or let's start with this Contactually because it's free. And all you do is you go to that website that everybody, called Google, and you can dive into, to really where you can help them. Now with Aspire Marketing, we're going to have a kind of a bucket of places that you can take the real estate agents. But you don't really even need, really the important part is go ask your top agents who they're using for CRMs, or, how are they going about, how do they get 50% of their buyers from open houses? So there's a bunch of different ways to get it, but don't feel that this first meeting that you have to have all the answers, and you're not going to give any answers at all anyway in the first meeting, in my opinion, especially if you're uncomfortable or if you're feeling nervous about coming at this with ideas.
So we've got a lot of great questions, and I want to get to those in a few minutes. I do want to finish getting through your sheet, and I want to remind everybody you can download this. It's in the GoToWebinar handout section. And if you're watching the video, there'll be a link down below to Rick's business planning partner questionnaire down below, or it's in the handout. So let's finish going through it. You covered the first couple questions. You covered the checklist. And then we have a few more things here.
Yeah. And this is, it's really important to find out, what's important traits for them in their business that they look for in a lender. So you're going to hear communication is going to be the biggest. So, definitely have something to talk through on that. Honesty and really honoring your word with the client. So that's a really great one. I altered the one. What would you change about the lending process if you could? I always like that because if, they could tell you something that really shed some light on, what one of their big frustrations is. And again, typically that's communication, which of course we always know. And then also understanding how much communication they want in the process. So, just to get a couple of questions just to uncover some context around if it's a newer relationship, really what they expect from you. It just kind of helps with moving the relationship forward.
So I want to get a script from you because I know when Jeremy Forcier does his interview, communication always comes as a big issue, and he often uses that as a bridge to say, oh, let me show you how I communicate with your buyer leads, how I create urgency, and it also helps him drive the total cost analysis value prop within it. How do you integrate MortgageCoach and your, the way you deliver advice? How does that integrate into your realtor conversations?
Yeah. So, I don't want to spoil the event for tomorrow because my topic is setting the expectations for a 5-star customer service experience, which is around communication, total cost analysis. But I always get into the total cost analysis with my real estate agent partners, and how we do video, communication with them, and how we're going to over communicate with them and their real estate agent. We use a program called Flowify, which is a benchmark notification system that we over communicate. But I always pull it up right in here, and I don't typically do it here because again, this is just information gathering. But when we come back to the meeting, MortgageCoach is always one of the things right on my smartphone that I take out and I show them how we provide that to every one of their clients. And I always ask, doesn't one of your clients deserve a presentation like this? So, it's a huge part of my presentation, especially when we're going through how we're going to help them, up their game with their clients.
Love it. Well, we will get the full script on ScriptPalooza tomorrow. So let's go through some of the questions here from Mike. So Mike says, seems like some of the higher producing agents in teams don't want advice on their business from an LO. Some have a lot of resources in their office. How do you overcome this, with either the top producer or just the cocky one that's not letting you in?
Yeah, so I disagree with that. Well, I don't disagree with that. So I'll tell you, I provide, with the mastermind events that I do, I have people in there. I had $500 million in production in my last listing agent mastermind, and they all want this information. Keep in mind, a lot of times when we go and give advice, we come out with no context. We don't uncover anything. We figure that if we can tell them how great our process is, or this mortgage program, this portfolio non-warrantable condo program that we have, which is a big Easter egg, is going to provide them value. We're approaching it incorrectly. So when you can talk up the fact that there may be some things within their business that you can help them with by extracting some information, I think I've had probably 20 sit downs with them, and I probably had one agent that was a little hesitant, and I didn't have the rapport with that agent, brand new agent. So yeah, it doesn't happen a lot. And when you come with, I just want to spend some time and see if I can help you in any way, they're open to it. So
a couple thoughts from my position. One, I know Rick, and he has been building his brand in his market for a long time. I mean, he's, an American Dream TV host. He's doing regular masterminds. He's creating educational content. I mean, he's known as a a thought leader, coach, mentor in the space. So some of it has to do with the brand that he's created for himself, so that when he is in that meeting, he's probably not getting the same experience that a new loan officer would get, or someone that is not as high profile as you are in your marketplace. So just, keep that in mind.
Yeah, but I think the great thing to do with this is start this with people that know, love, and trust you, that are going to sit down and give you the information, and you're going to build up your confidence around how you're going to be able to help them, how you're going to ask the questions, how you're going to really start to move the pendulum from again being the chaser to more of an advisory or coaching role. So definitely, I wouldn't call the top agent in your market and go, hey, I want to have lunch with you. I've got something to talk to you about. But start with the people that you just have a great relationship with and will be open and honest. And start working from there and moving up to, to agents that maybe you don't, get 100% of their business, but you want an in and you want some talking points. And you guys, feel free to modify this too. If it's not 14, maybe it's pick 6 or 7 to go in there and gain that information, and then go and find the answers to what their problems are. And they're very easy to find.
Yeah. And if you just come in with a heart of curiosity, it'll show. Robert Stover in this Friday's mastermind, he used this analogy: referral beggar or referral boss. Which one do you want to be? And everything that Rick's talking about is the referral boss. Find the pain, solve the pain, execute, and you will be in control of those relationships. So Laurie asked, does Rick give the agent the sheet, or is it purely an interview?
Purely an interview.
So
yes.
This sheet's not even there. This is just something for you to reference or to take notes afterwards.
No, so so what I do is I take it and I hold on to it. So it's I'm holding on to it, and I'm making notes literally right over there. So as they're telling me information, because again, they don't need it, they just coughed it all up to me, and maybe you can provide it back to them after the second meeting. But no, I would take that with you, and because that's what you're going to use in order to figure out how you can help them. And what I always say is when we're leaving it, hey, let's look at this one more time and tell me the top 2 or 3 things on this sheet that's going to have the most dramatic impact on your business if we were able to solve them together. And then, then let that sit.
Boom. So Dolly asked, how do I even get my foot in the door to agree to a meeting? So we're going to crush that a little bit on ScriptPalooza. But Rick, if you could just give us our 1 to 2 minute, let's assume you were back, like you lost your business or you moved to another place and you had to cold call some agents. Give us the script that you would use to get them to take a meeting with you.
I would ask that, again, I leave rates, programs, process off the table, and, talk to the agent and just say, hey, I'm meeting with a couple of real estate agents that I'm really handpicking in the marketplace because I've got this questionnaire that I want to go through with you that has really helped a lot of my real estate agents in the marketplace grow their business. I would love to spend a half hour with you. And here's what my promise to you is you won't hear me tell you that I've got great rates, programs, and service. I'm really coming at this where I want to help move your business. You've got a great reputation in the marketplace, and I promise you that when we walk out of there, you'll leave with a little bit of value and even more at the second meeting. So, again, coming at this way different than every other loan officer that's calling that same agent. Come with value, lead with give. You won't hear much about me. I really want to understand your business, and I think that there's a couple things I can do to help grow it as well.
Love that. So I'm not going to talk about rates in my service. Spend 30 minutes with me, and you will walk away with value. Okay, I like that. Dolly, I hope that helps. If you want more, let us know. Let's see. What is your script for realtors who flat out won't tell you? I only want listings. They are only entertaining buyers if they literally fall into their lap.
Yeah. And that's, again, we hear that, and that's really an objection of like, hey, stop calling me because I only deal with sellers. They don't. They deal with buyers, and if they have buyer leads, they have a buyer's agent. So I come at this with, I'm only in it because you're going to send me buyers. Like I don't sit down with this really having anything to do with, I want your business and I want you to get buyer. It has nothing to do with that, because here we talk about converting listing appointments. It's really important for me to have you grow your business. And if you're just a listing agent, I'm cool with that. That's great. But by the guys, they deal with buyers. And again, if they don't, they have someone that does. So, I wouldn't be turned off or feel rejected because they just say, hey, I'm just a buyer's agent. I'm just a listing agent. Some of my best agents are the listing agents because they have teams of 4 or 5 buyer agents. If I can go out and help those buyer agents do more business, guess who's getting the lion's share of those mortgages? So I always start with the especially with the mastermind events, calling the big team leader, maybe at a Keller Williams, and saying, hey, I want to provide value to a couple of your buyer agents. Can you set us up? And I think I can really help them get out and get more business for your team. Of course they will.
Love it. So let's talk about some of the different things that you do on a monthly basis. So you've done the audit, you've identified some big items. I know you're doing annual reviews, so I know you have leads to give back to some of your agents. So maybe if you could just speak to how you create leads and loans, how you distribute them, and then what are other things that you do, because you got 28 realtors that are partnerships, so you can't give all 28 of those a lot of leads. So walk us through some of the things that you do.
Yeah, I'm able to give quite a bit of leads back. However, I never lead with that. I never promise and really it's, when I'm sitting down with an agent, it's, I will help you go and find more buyers. And I'm going to be responsible for helping you do that. And so I want credit for that. But it's really helping them go out and it's a system that I call, we're actually going and helping you find the fisherman and not worry about the fish. And Dave, I'd like to spend a couple of minutes just on the playbook in a minute, but I want to answer your question.
Go for it.
So, but yeah, guys, staying in front of your people every month is huge. So if you do not have a campaign where you're leading with value every single month, you really need to do that. I've just implemented the fact that we're going to do a mixer every single month. Second Tuesday, I think it was. Second Tuesday of every month is just a mixer, and we have 3 different areas around Boston, north, south, and west, that we're going to start to do. Really just staying in front of your people. And, again, this is great. Trying to do mastermind events, bringing people together and seeing how you can help them grow their business. And that might be by putting 2 agents in different markets together. Just really figuring out how you can add value with every single one of your partners, asking them what they need.
How many leads are you getting through your annual reviews? Because that's, I think, one thing that separates you. You do consistent annual reviews, so you're getting consistent referrals. Give us a feel for how much.
Yeah, so a lot of them, I'm getting a bunch for real estate agents, but with the annual reviews, I'm actually getting a ton for my financial planner, CPA, estate planner, and insurance agent, based on the 4 questions that I ask at the end of the call. I always just say, hey, when I set the call up for the annual review, we've talked about this before, it's, hey, here's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to see how you're doing, how the kids, how's the house. We're going to check into the mortgage that you've got. And then I've got 4 questions at the end that I'm going to ask you. So let's get started. So I always prep them up front that I'm going to ask them 4 questions at the end. And that's where I dive into, rate your, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, rate your CPA, financial planner, estate planner, insurance. And then during the how is the house, what are you looking to do to it? Are you outgrowing it? That's really where I can weasel in and get and reintroduce either the agent that sent them to me or an agent if they didn't come to me via an agent in their market that can help them either figure out do they buy or do they add on type of conversation. So I would say every month I'm giving out 6 to 8 financial planner, maybe the same on CPA, little less estate plan. And typically they're with the same insurance agent I referred in the beginning. So if they're not, a couple to the real estate, to the insurance agent.
Got it. So remember, folks, annual reviews are critical. It puts you in a position of leadership. You get leads for all your referral partners. And it's part of your value prop. When you walk a realtor through your process of how you're creating clients for life, how you're going to optimize the referrals of that client, it really is a value. So Rick, let's talk about your playbook, because I know that's a cornerstone strategy and part of your value prop. So walk us through that.
Yeah. So what we learned a couple of years ago is real estate agents weren't that good at 2 different things. One is having every part of the process, the home buying process, in one place in an easy to understand, really attractive presentation. The other thing that we realized is real estate agents are always trained to go after the fish, right? Go door knock, go cold call, go find that next buyer, go find that next listing. And we understand that when you go and find the fish, you feed for a month. And what we needed to do is change that mindset with all of our real estate partners, that stop spending all the time looking for the fish, but spend that energy looking for the fishermen. Right? Because if you find the fisherman, instead of feeding for a month, you can feed for a lifetime. So what we decided to do is we created this book called the Real Estate Buyer's Playbook. And we've got it for a couple of states now. And of course, every market, the buying process is done a little bit differently. So I've got actually some things for the Mortgage Coach community. I'm going to have an ask for the Mortgage Coach community in a couple of minutes. But what we do is we sit down with our real estate agent partners and co-sponsor the Real Estate Buyer's Playbook with them. So I've got one right here, and essentially this is what it looks like. This is a sample book. It's got the real estate agent's logo and the real estate agent's information. Inside, it's got the real estate agent's information here. I co-sponsor it, and so does either attorney, title company, insurance agent, and so we're all co-sponsoring the book. And what the book does is it walks a buyer through the process from beginning to end. So, I mean, literally the roadmap, getting started, pre-approval process, home search, buying process, pre-closing, closing, post-closing. And then the trusted business partners for these are business card holders, by the way. So the real estate agent, lender, home inspector, title or attorney, and insurance agent. So when the buyer is sitting there with the agent to walk through this, the agent is saying, hey, here's my trusted team. Here's who's going to get this done for us. And so they started off. And, again, I'll go quickly through it, but it walks the buyer through everything they need to know for this process. So it really ups the realtor's game so that that buyer is walking away with an absolute experience of the transaction. This is like their notebook through the process. One thing that we have in here too is for the Mortgage Coach is we have a total cost analysis right there. And it's the benefit of a custom mortgage plan. Again, it's it's setting you apart from the other loan officers. It says right here, this is a little Todd Duncan scripting. 15 quality minutes with Rick Scherer at MSA Mortgage could potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. The total cost analysis will show you the true cost of your mortgage over time. Call Rick Scherer and the phone number.
Hey, time out, Rick. Time out. So first of all, that was awesome. If you could take a picture of that page and post that in the Mortgage Coach group, I definitely want to leverage that in tomorrow's ScriptPalooza. Just that scripting is just so tight.
Yeah,
so if
I
you
love
could
it.
take a picture and post it after today's call, I'd really appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely, man. So anyway, it walks the client through the home search process. This is the roadmap that takes the anxiety from every buyer out of the situation. I mean, it walks them through every step. What's next? They write their dates in here, and they all understand what's going to happen. sample of the contract. So you guys get the idea. It talks about the loan estimate, high level, post-closing, really what they need to know on the CD. Okay. Now we need this to be a junk drawer book. This book is going to stay around. We've got the post-closing information, or what to do on your walkthrough the day of closing. And then now that you own the home, what are the things you have to do to your home every single season, annually? Okay. Now, this book essentially, what I just explained there is about 25% of that book. The power of the book is the client experience. Here's where the loan officer can set themselves apart with that real estate agent. Preferred business partners is right here at the right here in the back. Okay. This is a place for that real estate agent to put up to 50 business cards of their vendors in the back of the book for their buyers. So when they own the home, now they have all of these resources that they can tap into, right? Real estate agents are really good. If you ask them for, hey, do you have a plumber? Or hey, do you have a CPA? They're really good at saying, okay, yeah, call John. What they're not really good at is pushing all of this information out to them. And so what we do as loan officers with the playbook is we coach the real estate agents how to go and expand their vendor list, but move their relationship with their vendors from casual to committed. And what I mean by this is what I'll tell you, when we rolled this out and we talked about this with real estate agents, a lot of agents said, oh, I send my CPA, I've sent them 15 deals over the last 10 years. And then we coach them to sit down and have a community conversation around them, starting with give. Mr. CPA, I would love to grow your business. I've created this book that I'm going to give to 20 buyers this year, and I'm going to refer every 20 to you as my preferred CPA. I want to really grow your business. What I'm looking for is a mutual beneficial relationship. So I'm looking for you to think of me every time you hear the word real estate. Mr. CPA, is that something you can commit to? If I'm going to commit to you, can you commit to me? And you get either a yes, or more importantly, you get a no, right? Because before, you're just sending things thinking you're getting them back. What we just did was you asked for the business because you came with give. And you're going to get, no, I'm sorry, my wife is a real estate agent, or my best friend's a real estate agent. They're going to get all my business. Well, it's really good to know, or before you sent those last 10 deals, really good to know that you're not getting anything back. So as a loan officer working with a real estate agent on their playbook, it's really helping them grow with painters and handymen and their CPA, financial planners, estate planners, insurance agents. And when they have business cards in this book, they know how the fishermen walking around their world thinking that real estate agent every time they hear the word real estate. They've transformed that relationship from a casual, oh, I'll just send the business over there and hopefully maybe they'll send it back, to human beings walking around their world thinking of Janet, the real estate agent, every time they're painting a house, getting it ready for sale, or the CPA gets a call saying, hey, if I sell my house, what happens? Now they're thinking, oh, geez, Janet just sent me a couple of deals. I need to send these deals back to her. It's really helping your real estate agent create their mini B&I group all around them, and the loan officer is the gatekeeper of this book.
So, Rick, love this strategy. And something similar to this came up when I was interviewing Wally Elderberry, another $100 million mortgage coach leader who's going to be on ScriptPalooza. And he's actually talking about how he's creating mini BI groups. So around his, I don't know if it's 5 or 10 best realtors, he is creating this mastermind. And so the way you're doing it is just an extension of that. And I hope for any new loan officers that are watching this, this comes across very intimidating. Rick is having big conversations. He's doing very strategic things. And again, he didn't do this in his first year in the business. So it's your first year in the business. I think your takeaway should be, I want to be an advisor. I want to be a coach. And every single day, you just got to get smarter. It's your first year in the business. You got to read guidelines and you need to know loans. And you need to know how to deliver a total cost analysis to a family. So first things first. But, if you've been doing this business for several years, and you're still in that position where you feel like, hey, I'm a referral beggar, versus a referral boss. This is the path to having super strategic relationships. And I love the way you started the whole call, where even if you screw up a deal, you're providing so much value. You're so strategic to their business and their goals that, hey, they see you as someone that's an essential strategic partnership. And so this is what it looks like. By the way, there's a number of folks that asked about the book. They're like, that's ridiculous. How do I get in on that book? So any questions, any advice on that?
So here's what we're doing is we're rolling this out nationally. We're in a couple of states now. And of course, the process is different in all the different states. So that's the scalability thing that we're working on. But I wanted to offer up to the Mortgage Coach community, because I think obviously this is the best of the best, is if you wanted to be an ambassador for your state, please reach out to us. Because what we need to do is kind of tweak the book a little bit to make sure that, the Massachusetts process is going to be different than the Florida process. It's going to be different than, Chicago and Illinois. So I'm looking for champions in all the different states that can help us make those small little tweaks, getting the book ready so that when you provide this to a real estate agent in your marketplace, it talks to the process that they're going to go through. So if anybody in the Mortgage Coach community would, and you can learn more about it is at buyersplaybook.com. There's a contact us button there. Just let us know that you were on the webinar and you'd like to be a champion for your state. We'll reach out to you. Jake on my team will reach out to you, and we'll tell you what that entails. And we'd love your help to really spread this across, because again, the loan officer is the gatekeeper of this book. Okay, the real estate agents can't pick up the phone and call us for the book. I want the loan officer to really start moving the needle in their relationship with the real estate agent, because you're providing them the book, you're coaching them through, hey, let's go out and let's set up these meetings. I have agents right now that have 40, 50 people in the book, and now they've quit their BNI groups. Now they do monthly or quarterly coffee meetings where they bring everybody in their book together. And now the real estate agent is the center of it. And now the CPA and the plumber are getting together because, they're referring business, and it's all around that real estate agent and the loan officer, because the loan officer provided that tool to help them grow. So if you're having a hard time with getting your real estate partner's business, it's not because you don't go out and worry about, I got to go have my Aunt Susie sell so I can send this agent the business. It's go find other ways to be that person that's going to add value and help them stop looking for the fish. Get off the hamster wheel of let's go find that next buyer, let's go find that next listing, go door knocking, phone call, all that crap that no one wants to do. But now lead with give. The real estate agent's going out to the CPA saying, hey, I want to help you grow your business. That's not a bad conversation to start with. And it's, I want a reciprocal relationship, and I meet with 30 different buyers. The other thing we're launching is the home sellers playbook, where now if an agent has 100 homes that they've sold, now we'll give them a smaller book on how to list your home or how to get your home ready to sell. It's all around your real estate agent, all their partners, and they're sending 100 books back the other way. It's just a way to tangle you in with the agent, show some value, and move your relationship with that agent so you're just not as good as your last deal.
I love it, man. So, hey, we are at the top of the hour. I will put a link below. Several other people asked for a link to connect with you, Rick. If you could have 2 posts in our Facebook group, do one that just gives the Mortgage Coach script and how you position it, and then do another one that, however you want to do it, think of it as a right hook for your new mission. Post that in the group, and we'll get some feedback. I want to remind folks, tomorrow, 9 o'clock, ScriptPalooza is going to be insanely valuable for you. Please let us know what you thought of today's call. Did we surpass your expectations with value? Did you get some solid takeaways? If you are new or a guest and you want to get a demo of Mortgage Coach, click the last option. So, Rick, the reviews are awesome. People loved today's call. You knocked it out of the park, brother. Appreciate you, as always, coming into this community. And I want to remind folks, while there's a lot of things that distinguish Rick as a top producer, his Realtor masterminds, best in the business, his annual review process, how he's not only executing those annual reviews, but how he's taking the leads and giving them back. Best of the business. Make sure you listen to some of the interviews, links below. And thank you, my brother. I really appreciate you.
What you do for our community is probably is just the best, and so I appreciate you and all that you do, and obviously all the loan officers out there just getting all these values from all of your conference calls and webinars, man. I just you're truly the best, dude. I truly mean that.
Yeah, well, thank you, Rick. Appreciate you, and I am looking forward to seeing your referral magnet, not for a contest, but for leads. Let's try to get more business out of your Facebook community with a mortgage coach. Sound good?
Thanks, brother.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
That was good. So, how many people were on that?
100.